Did you know that it's often best to start cutting a trailer or a promo with the audio bed first? Well, in trailers and promos, a couple of unique factors come into play that flip the entire process upside down. In this video, we're going to demonstrate this using the trailer for the 2016 film, The Legend of Tarzan. Let's walk through the steps of laying the foundation of your cut using primarily audio, and then a little bit of picture here and there. So, why cut the audio first in a trailer? Well, a trailer is inherently rhythmic, and it relies heavily on the beats of your music and the small crafted editorial moments that come as a result of it. These are, of course, all driven by your audio bed, which is one reason why you should start with it. Second, keep in mind the shorter length of these types of pieces. In order for your characters' lines to be heard, you must cut your music in a way that starts, stops, ebbs, and flows in exactly the right places, to the frame. By starting with your audio, you're going to have massively increased flexibility to make sure that you get this audio timing and pacing correct before you start filling in all the picture. The music and the dialogue set the pace, not the visuals. So, contrary to everything I just said, we'll actually start with just a tiny bit of picture by laying in studio logos, date cards, copy cards, and the main title graphics. Since these are typically must-haves, it makes sense to get them onto your timeline early to start serving as your anchor points. Now, we're going to rough in our music. Think of this like a crude underpainting on a canvas. We want to start blocking out moods of the trailer and imagining how our story might flow from one section to the next. This is where you'll want to go back to the sequences you created while picking out your favorite music cues. Find 2 to 3 cues that feel like they can open the trailer in Act 1, increase the pace a bit in Act 2, and then get really big, epic, emotional, exciting, etc. for Act 3. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and you'll be able to use a single music cue throughout a whole cut. Usually, this is only the case with shorter pieces between 1 and 2 minutes long, and with music cues that offer a longer, gradual build, starting low and escalating into something huge in the back end. Spend as much time as you need with this step. It might take you an entire day to find the right flow of music. This is crucial though, because it's going to determine how the rest of the trailer comes together. Don't settle on an arrangement until you're truly happy with what you've got. It's worth the time invested, trust me. Now, a quick reminder here. We talked about the importance of placing locators or markers on all the key musical beats of a cue. This makes it much easier to align the moments in your trailer with the various beats, and it also aids you in cutting up the different parts of the cue to recombine them in a way that fits best. Make sure you've done this for any cue that you're going to be using in your piece. Also, remember to place the markers directly on the source audio file in your editing program, not in your sequence. That way, whenever you load the music track to cut additional parts of the music into your sequence, it'll already have the markers baked onto it, and they'll get dropped into your sequence each time. Make sense? And second, make sure the music builds to the end of the piece. Be careful not to let the music in the middle get too big too fast. Otherwise, it'll have no place to go after that. Use the biggest music at the end of Act 3 so the trailer feels like it reaches its peak of energy at the very end. So, for example, if you place this part of your music cue at the end of Act 2, it's going to be hard to top that in Act 3. Now, there are some tricks for making a section of music feel bigger, like adding layers of additional hits and drums. You can use a trick like that if the intensity of your middle cue is correct, but the back end just doesn't get big enough. I'll actually be using a little bit of that in our example here a bit later in the lesson. In general, though, let the music do the work for you so that you don't have to do too much customization like that. It's just easier that way. Alright, so once you've got the music roughly cut into your timeline, we'll add in the character dialogue just as we have it laid out in our paper cut. Some of the lines you came up with may be cobbles, or combinations of multiple lines to create a new phrase. Now's the time to piece those together as well.
He is no normal man.
At this point, We don't really need to know exactly where all the dialogue lines will fall timing-wise. That will be dictated a lot by the music and the general feel of the trailer as we move farther along. For now, just do your best to pace out the lines in a natural way, keeping in mind your 3-act structure. Try to imagine sounds and accents occurring in between the various lines, and create natural pauses in between groups of phrases, like this line-accent-line combo.
He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He'll come for you.
Don't stress too much, we'll be adjusting this all later. Okay, so once you've cut in your dialogue, do a quick levels adjustment across all your lines to get them all peaking at around -8 dB. You want to make sure that they're loud enough to hear over the music. But of course, we'll be doing a much more careful audio mix later in the process. Alright, so let's take a quick look at what we've got so far.
The jungle consumes everything. It preys on the old, the sick, the wounded. It preys on the weak, but never the strong.
He is no normal man. He was thought to be an evil spirit, a ghost in the trees. No man ever started with less.
He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He'll come for you.
You are Lord of the Apes, King of the Jungle, Tarzan. Tarzan.
Alright, at this point, our trailer is really starting to take shape. Now is a good time to add in some placeholders for key moments in our film that might work well. Any scares, explosions, or other important accents you might have thought about using when making your paper cut can be slugged into wherever feels the most appropriate. So, if you know you want to end the trailer with a car launching off the edge of a cliff, drop in a couple seconds of that footage at the end of the piece. If you know that you want to open your trailer on a wide shot of a city, go ahead and cut that in. So now that we've got some graphics, our music, our lines, and a handful of moments and shots, it's time to fine-tune everything a bit. This is going to be a bit of a back and forth process. First, go through the cut and adjust the spacing of your lines in a way that feels good with your music. We've already done this a bit earlier, but this second round is going to get us a little closer to the final pacing, since now we've got more of the shots and moments filled in to work around. I'm going to let you watch me work on the beginning section of this trailer for about 2 minutes to show you the types of adjustments that I'm making. This is a very intuitive process, so there's no hard and fast rules here. Just try to listen to the rhythm a bit, and shift around your lines to land in a way that best synergizes with the music cue. Have a look.
The jungle consumes everything. It preys on the old, the sick, the wounded. It preys on the weak, the sick, the wounded. It preys on the weak, but never the strong. It preys on the weak, but never the strong. Wounded. It preys on the weak, but never the strong. But never the strong.
He is no normal man. He was thought to be an evil spirit, a ghost in the trees. He was thought to be an evil spirit, a ghost in the trees. No man ever started with less.
He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He'll come for you.
Remember, you'll want to spend a bit of time cutting your music in the way that works best for each section of your piece. Be sure to explore the cue, and don't be afraid to combine different parts together that work well. Look at this hypothetical example. Let's say I have a music cue that's a couple minutes long, definitely long enough to cover any single act of my trailer. And let's say I need it to start, play a little bit, and then stop during only a 15-second time frame. Very compressed. When I roughed in the cue, I probably just threw down a whole chunk that seemed to be the right mood, but it isn't really customized to the time frame it has to play out in. It just kind of starts and then it kind of stops. Not very polished. Now, you can see just by looking at the waveform that the full cue has a bit of variety to it, with fuller sections, quieter sections, and a couple starts and stops. To cut the music to fit a particular section of the cue, I'd find a couple lead-up beats, or another way to organically kick off the cue. Then, I'd upcut the music a bit to get to a bigger section. Then, I'll find a resolving note or a series of notes to splice onto the end. And there we have it. Now, take a listen to the whole composition as we've cut it together. Notice how all the edits were made on the beats, with the visual assistance of the markers. That helps the editing to feel pretty seamless. It's a far more precise and deliberate way to manipulate your music than just putting large cross dissolves in between sections. That's an amateur move. So go ahead and customize your music to fit well within the sections you've cut it into. Music follows the same general rule as everything else in the trailer world. Make it do what you need it to. Manipulate and modify it as needed to make it work for your cut. Any experienced trailer editor will tell you, either the music will control you or you will control it. I suggest the latter. Also, feel free to use sound design to help with the pacing of your cut and the rhythm of the music cue. Add the occasional hit or sound effect where you need it to get the feeling right. Place a drone or sustain or rumble in locations where you want the cue to pause for a second or two and let the moment play out without feeling completely silent. Basically, use all the audio tools at your disposal to control the story, the mood, and the timing of the cut. Again, this is a very important foundational step, so spend some time getting it right. If it feels off, it probably is. Keep tinkering with it until it works. So here's what this trailer might look like at the end of this foundational stage. This is after tweaking and fine-tuning the music, the pacing of the lines, and adding a bit of sound design to really play up and accent the rhythm of the music and the various key moments that we've already cut in. Have a look.
The jungle consumes everything. It preys on the old, the sick, the wounded. It preys on the weak, but never the strong.
He is no normal man. He was thought to be an evil spirit, a ghost in the trees. No man ever started with less.
He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He'll come for you.
You are Lord of the Apes, King of the Jungle. Tarzan. Tarzan.
All right, so that's about it. You've got your entire piece now structured out basically by only cutting the audio. If somebody were to close their eyes and listen to the trailer at this point, it should sound like it could possibly be a complete trailer. Now that your pacing and your rhythm is perfect, it's just paint by number with the rest of your picture, and you've got an amazing cut. All right, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey there, for tons more free editing training, head over to our website at filmeditingpro.com/free training. Here you can download free editing guides along with high-quality video training courses created by our team of professional Hollywood editors. Our tutorials cover a wide range of editing topics, like cutting awesome movie trailers, editing action scenes, how to work with music and sound design, and a lot more. All of these free guides and videos are available at filmeditingpro.com/free training. I'll see you next time.